Hello everybody and welcome back to Dickie's Videos, where no war game remains unplayed. Further ado, here we are again with Field of Glory 2 Medieval and continuing the medieval hype forevermore. So don't forget to click that like, subscribe button. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you've not seen this battle before, please go on to the Field of Glory 2 Medieval playlist and watch my first ever game of Field of Glory Medieval versus, of course, the Richard Brodie Scott, the curator, the legend, the gentleman, the squire, the king of Field of Glory 2, and many more. So, as you saw, it was a fantastic game of knights, swords, spear, longbow, and all sorts of medieval instruments. So I just want to say it was really fun, my first game. This is why I'm doing an overview of it, just to give you a kind of a quick look thoughts about what happened and as it goes. So we're going to click play here and have a look about deployment and all the rest of it. I gotta say it was really fun, the first game, so I'm just going to flip to the overall deployment here and the overall thoughts, which is probably around here. I'll just find my spot when I zoom out. So yeah, there we go. This is kind of my overall look on the. I've got to say, playing Field of Glory 2 Medieval now, I really like the English list, and it can get cheesy. It's a good list of course, offensive spearmen, defensive spearmen. Of course, these big blocks of Welsh troops that are fantastic. Of course, the knights, which are deployed mostly on the left because of the terrain. As you can see, there is a big river in this part here, so my overall thing was cavalry to flank to the left, main shield wall and archer line to push there. It does go a bit crazy towards the end of this battle. I've got to say, Richard, just the master of Field of Glory, really, I've very rarely beat him because he is very good, and it has been interesting to I think when I did the stream on Slivering Games for the initial Lake Papyrus, or the Frozen Lake, when he spoke about combined arms, I see what it is. So here he is with his French forces. I've got to say, the French forces are brilliant. Knights, big blocks of them, low country spearmen, offensive armoured spearmen, and the crossbowmen. As you can see, he played very good at deploying these crossbowmen in the back left, which of course are very good at shooting at cavalry. Of course, he had a line of cavalry here to counter to the right. Of course, then the countering left with the other group, and then of course his spearmen through the centre to meet mine in the line of death, I want to call it. But yeah, I've got to say, regardless of only just winning, because the cavalry are tanks. The cavalry, I've got a new respect for knights. The fact is they are monsters. Yeah, so my initial thoughts there. Really fun first game, and I can't wait to do lots more of the multiplayer game as soon as it's released. And of course, if there's any beta testers out there wanting to play, I'm sure I can play them. But Richard Brodie is in the initial challenger, and I've got a couple more games on the go with him. So you're going to be seeing some Lithuanians and some Mongols. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, click that like, subscribe button, but also come back to check other content. But also check the store below. I always keep forgetting, check the store below to the games. Of course, the original Field of Glory 2. But of course Medieval. So here we are, the kind of skirmish line for him. He's got them massive blocks of spearmen that can form squares. That really put me off because I always forget they do that. But I don't know. You know what really annoys me is that I felt so good. And also the French, the mounted crossbowmen are pretty good because they evade as well. So they're not shooting. They're quite good against lights. They can cause disruption, all sorts of badness against things. But still there. Here we go. This is what I thought here. I thought I could advance to the right with the light troop, start shooting him up, start trying to actually just weather down some cavalry or do some shenanigans on his heavy cavalry. But I've got to say, my cavalry line further on does just fail. And it's surprising to me how... I don't know if it's because I'm doing some POA problems here, but like I said, this is like a couple months worth of me playing, but of course there's been different versions of the game as it goes on, changing little things. I think this game shines. It's just so different, and things don't break. I mean, unless you get lucky and drop 2 cohesion levels like I have in this game a couple of times, it's been very difficult. I mean, the more I play it, not that I'm saying I don't like it. The top right the turn time, I don't like it because it hurts my eyes. Where the two things are, I don't know if because when you see it in a second, where it says like 1/24 or 2/24, whatever it is, I'm not particularly fond of it. I don't know why, but it doesn't say the game is amazing. Part of that has me being put into. So here we go. Is cavalry advancing on the left side? Remember the crossbowmen, of course, on that left side, ready to probably start weakening down my cavalry. He's got a good contingent of anti-cavalry tactics there, but. Loving all the models so far, loving all of it. But like I said, the only thing that affects me is that little grey box. Maybe it's just my eye. It's probably my eyes. Ignore that. There we go. I think here I can start trying to weaken him down with my archers and my javelin troops. Remember, there's that block of rough terrain right there. I like the English, but I think they would shine with allies. They would shine more with allies here. So we're going extreme left. I'm trying to outposition him here. It's interesting. You'll see the French side, which I play in a couple of days' time, and how I played with the French, because I always like mirrored games in Field of Glory too. So here we are. We're just advancing up. We've got all the Welsh spearmen. We've got some raw spearmen in the rear. It's always worth taking them raw spearmen, but they get absolutely hammered by knights. I've noticed that. You know what? No, you see, he's taken a vast majority. See, what I've noticed really watching this now is he's taken a vast majority more armoured knights. So the points are in his knights. The issue is the points aren't in the infantry here. The main thing for his point vantage is, of course, the cavalry. He's got a lot of points in there that are ready to go and rip the living. Oh my God, the light tanks. I am having nightmares. I sit there rocking back and forward in bed going, the knights are coming for me again. Not that I'm saying I played it wrong. I think I could have played it better against the knights. And the only not saying the only counter tactic is, of course, knights themselves, but also crossbowmen and mounted crossbowmen. Because you can see he's starting to advance on this left side now with his things. But I do the same thing that I do against Norman knights and lancers in Wolves at the Gate, is I zone control them out. See, I make a mistake here. I nearly put that unit into the rough terrain, make them slightly disruptive, but them units of low country spearmen are a bit annoying. I start to get slightly cocky here. But he's pulled the field straight to the left and squashed my knights in a little bit. And I think I get really unlucky. I don't know why I have such a bad... what's the word? POAs against his knights. But there we go. I'm trying to feel. But the defensive spearmen, I've noticed, are really good units. And it seems to go from the low country Welsh spearmen to the defensive armoured spearmen, which I've got 2 units around here. He has 2 units and 2 units of the thing. So I think if I would play the nation again, I will play it again because I think it's a nice nation to play. But there you go. I'm trying to shoot his cavalry down, trying to weaken his infantry down, with, of course, the javelin troops and the archers. But yeah, here we go. But really slightly scared of that left side. You know, I've got to say it's not my fortune here. Fortune? It's not my thing. Knights I've got to learn, but they're just so expensive. So the bricks, they're the tank of the medieval age I was going for, I say. But very expensive points. You don't mean the slow, but once they can break spear blocks with their charges, with that POA of the Lancer, the Knightly Lancer, sorry. And this here, them low country spearmen, there's just so many of them in that unit. And I'm sitting there going, ugh, it's not great. So there we go. We're on turn, I can't remember what turn we're on now. We'll see what we're into. So here's the knights falling up. You see, one thing I don't particularly do very often is fall back like that, just because of the drop maybe of the cohesion drop if I do fail it. But them 2 blocks of spearmen in that centre are going to cause me bloody problems. And it takes me most of the game, if you've watched the previous video, that me to actually destroy them and to actually break them down. Here we go, the crossbowman yet again starting to thing. As you can see, he's moved them up, moved the knights up. And I let him shoot at me for a good turn, I think, with these crossbowmen. But I get quite zealous, I think. So I think we're on turn 6 here straight away. So particularly 0 to 6 turns have been, positioning. So here I decide to try and shoot the knights as best as possible, because any loss of strength they're going to get, and here we go for the charge. But then this puts me in a bad position with the javelin cavalry. The fact is, I'm just in a bad position. I felt pretty positive here. But as you can see, the knights at the rear are starting to turn around to look to the left side, to my right side. And of course, now the cavalry there is stuck. Yeah, the POA advantage is there against them low country spearmen. But remember, they can form squares. Makes them particularly... I drop the general in there, move my Welsh spearmen to attack. And he just... Yeah, maybe I should have just started to push earlier. And this is my first mistake, is pushing the marchers up to that right. The fact is, it's just not going to go well. Just not going to go well there. So we're still panicking a little bit here. Still panicking here. Yeah, you see that there? The POA advantage there is still hugely out of thing. Just like a block of men. And I take it it's still unaware here that the fact is how good they are. And there you go, me trying to push through there as much as possible. And I think, yeah, I'm trying to grab these archers because I don't think they can escape. And I'll show you, look, here we go. I think, okay, we'll charge, and they evade. And there's the first thing I tried to do, evade them into a charge, which I get quite lucky. And there's the break. But 7%, 7%. And then I hit that unit, but the sold of the cavalry unit with the general in. I'm thinking, oh yeah, we're pretty good here, but this turns on its head. And I think because the amount, like I said, the majority of his army is actually, of course, the knights here, and they of course are just juggernauts. I'm watching this again, and I think I learned a lot everything's good in hindsight, isn't it, to be honest with you. But they would catch the archers. You see, he didn't take very many medium troops the French could take here, because the French do have a large selection of medium troops. You see, these sergeants can't match against these knightly lance, these knights. I keep that one unit of cavalry back just to hold some support, but yeah, that left side it's half and half for me. I've got half infantry, half cavalry. He's just got lots of bloody cavalry and crossbowmen ready to move up and shoot me. So there you go. You see me advancing the crossbowmen to the left. Now shooting my cavalry up. This is what I'm talking about. I let him shoot at me and take some cohesion check there, but he passed it. There's the retreat back. Yeah, the spearmen can't do jack. Yeah, this is where I think I've messed up here a little bit, but. He forms. How many cavalry units? He's got. We'll have a look at that when he goes back to the left. But the advance to the right, I've pushed too far with the archers. They're a bit too close. There we go. Hold firm, push back. Slightly annoyed, still leaving that sniper zone. Okay, now I'm thinking I better get the hell out of dodge there. Oh, look at that! All red. Red for days. So I just don't control them up. This is my thing here. Well, if I'm not going to charge them, I'm just going to... You see, I've noticed as well the knights normally catch a lot of their infantry when they do actually get them. They do actually catch them a good amount of time, but here we go, we're not. Like I said, them defensive armoured spearmen are a bit alright. You see, I should have kept my armoured lancers slightly back, my sergeants back. You see, I messed up there. I should have charged with the raw spearmen. Oh, but I still disrupted them. I should have charged them in first, then charged the cavalry in. But then I think I overplayed my card a little bit there. But yeah, I think still, I got slightly confident here. The fact is, yeah, I was pushing ahead. But yeah, here you go. Look, I can see he's got 6 units to my 5 units of cavalry. So he's still advantaged, but he's got a lot more heavily armoured infantry. And I think the armoured crossbowmen are pretty good as well. I think the semi-okay in combat. I don't know how many I think they're half swordsmen with the crossbowmen and armoured, but they are the tough cookies regardless of that. Yeah, so there we go. What are we? Turn 7, we're probably coming up to nearly just past quarter way into the game. A couple of good disruptions. We're going to slig ahead to the 20-minute mark, so I like to do half the thing here. So we've engaged him most as we can. His cavalry at the right's turned around. We're in combat most on the main line here. Of course, I was trying to get around. I think, sergeants got owned by I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to let them engage. And of course on the left side here, he's dominating me with that cavalry particularly well. And here we go, he's got most of his crossbowmen in the range, but my left flank that's it. It's a bad day. I think some of his cavalry actually charges off the field, and I try and get lucky there against some crossbowmen, but no. You see, the reason I was worrying here was because he shot me up most of the time with the cavalry. Oh god, yeah, the POA of that impact is bad. It's so bad and it's scary. And I've just noticed, and when after playing like just the computer a lot, I get a lucky couple of fragments here, but he holds, and he gets a couple of good fragments on me where my unit just drops down. But I'm loving the big Welsh spear blocks. I love the French Low Country spearmen, which are just huge blocks of spearmen that are just scary. I will ever now be careful. You got to soften them up to get anywhere. So there you go. I'll try and get some maybe a disruption on them spearmen to the north, and there we go. The sergeant's gone, and that cavalry just running riot. There's the charge. Oh, fragmented. I think they do rally eventually in the end, but yeah, it's the cavalry advantage is all in the French side. Just I'd learn from that. The French do excel on their noble cavalry. And there you go. This was annoying. That CNC Robert getting bloody fragmented against that spear block. What a cohesion drop. Oh, just bad day for us there. I thought bugger, that game's going to change now. But yeah, his cavalry rallied on the centre, which got disrupted early on in the game on the left. So he's outnumbered me. I've got unlucky fragment on my right, unlucky fragment on his mid left, his mid right. His cavalry just owning me here. And then there we go. And I think I noticed that there he goes, and he charges. You see, that's with a mounted crossbowman. So don't ever like I did. I have done in this is that I've literally dissuaded not using the crossbowman, and there he goes, just taking complete dominance on that left side and just trying to chip away at my infantry. There you go, and he actually falls back the unit of crossbowmen to not, just in case the crossbowmen drop there. So he passed the cohesion check, not to take a cohesion check. There we go. We're trying to knock back that Low Country spearman, but it's such a big unit, and I think I engaged that the wrong way. I think I should have tried to get my Welsh spearmen to engage, but my Welsh spearmen, unfortunately, here, I've pushed in. As you can see, there's a unit just in the centre of the field here, and they broke just because they're fragmented. I couldn't do anything about that. That was just bad luck, but unfortunately, luck for Richard there as well. Pretty gnarly. What I take a couple of points, like I said, French cavalry. Here's most of the points for his French cavalry. I've got a good flank charge here. What were they charging? There we go. This is the one. I don't know. It's just such a big unit and just holds firm. And I'm sitting there trying to hack away with the armoured spearman. He's protected offensive, but just the number. I'm just trying to break him here. Look at that. Hold the line. There you go. Come on, break. No. If they would have broke maybe one turn early and dropped some cohesion, might have been slightly different on that centre line. But like I said, pointer in his cavalry. So what we're going to switch to the 30-minute mark and see what's occurring and just my thoughts. So here we go. We've got a couple of rallies. The battle is everywhere by now. We've pushed that centre line, broken it through. I just completely unprepared, and I've got to say he's got a couple of good rallies here, but I've just overexposed my flanks on the left. The left was my complete weakness. The centre was mine, the right was eventually mine, but not without losses. But I've got to say the defensive spearmen did hold off quite well here, and I think Richard did mention that in a private chat on Steam about it. But I've got to say, still loving this. And there's that French cavalry. What a beaut. And there we go. There's some fragmented sergeants rallied, but then he's got a couple of units of knights still. As you can see, he's got a couple of routed units that rallied which rally in the rear, which, to be honest with you, I don't realise. I should have just sent my lights straight away to go and kill them. But of course, here we're still pushing away. Pretty good so far, but just holding on, gritted teeth. You see, the one thing I've noticed is you more likely won't break the cavalry unless you're doing massive anti-cavalry tactics. The thing is, the knights are just going to get ground down. It just seems the main tactic here is to use your crossbowmen, use your archers, grind them cavalry down. Because I see when I watch this game again now, I've just noticed that a lot of his units, cavalry units, don't break. They just lose numbers more than anything. Yeah, I don't know why. I think I did a misclick a couple of turns ago on one of these units. And no, I think it was on the French game, sorry, where I charged something in. It was ridiculous. So yeah, I'm just thinking you just got to ground them down. And there's a lot of good units here that I actually shoot down. There's a unit of his low country bloody spearmen that sat there in square the entire game, but they took up 2 units. Here we go. And I ended up just shooting them up all game. And I think they do auto break. I think this is actually where they auto break, is it? No, I just sit there shooting them down all game. And then it gets really good rallies. And like when it's one of them knight unit rallies, they're a massive percentage back onto the break value. I can see why the game talks about the battle wagon, and it's a massive proportion of your army that won't break because it's still alive. But yeah, here we go with the crossbowman breaking them easy. Then, like I said, it's got 2 units up in the north what rallied. There you go. Now I've got to somehow grind them knights down. But pretty brutal. If medieval warfare was like this, it's just absolutely brutal. Them knights getting charged by a fully armed knight is going to be a bad day for everybody. Here we go. These raw spearmen just holding on like gents. They should have broke. They really should have broke. Here we go. Like I said, that unit of cavalry is nearly gone. The crossbow didn't charge in just yet, but they're about to charge in the rear there. But yeah, we're on turn 14 at 24. It's about to go, but here we go. I think that was him moving stuff out of the way up there. And bloody hell, I think he gets like a decent of a rally somewhere here. Here you go. Now the cavalry on the left returned from earlier and stomping my left. There's the flank from the crossbowmen I talked about. But amazingly, we hold firm. Cavalry, it's the cavalry. It's monstrous. You've got to severely... If you're sat in rough terrain, you're having a great day. But if you're in the open... It's not. Here we go. They fragmented the raw spearmen, which did well on that right. There you go. The cavalry just flying up that centre line behind my line. There's not much I can do now. Here we go. Charging with the truly newly rallied thing, but knights love it. There we go. Flank attack. You see, even sometimes the POA is just hugely not in my favour. I dropped the C and the sub-general into that unit. Now I'm going to send the lights across the way for these rallied units because we're at 46 here. Now it's me just trying to break these low country spearmen by fire. You know, the misclick there was before the unit that charged the unit that I selected there, that charged the low country spearmen by accident. That's the misclick I was talking about. I have misclicked on another game as well. So there you go. I somehow think here I'm going to form square. So handy that is. So handy. Because to be honest, I can't do bugger all. Because that cavalry hits that unit in the rear, it's going to break. And I think that's going to be a very massive proportion of my army gone just in that one spearman unit. There we go. We dropped the general into the spearman defensive. I've got some people hiding. I'm thinking here I've got a brick in it because there's 2 units of cavalry moving around my rear. And there's particularly I've got a couple of archer units and a fragmented unit. Javelin horse, which is fragmented in the wood. And there we go. This is like, nope. They should have broke turns ago. But I got lucky. There you go. And again, that cavalry unit, 57%. So they were broken. They were really thing. So here you go. Richard said, well played, nearly done. But this could have swung his way quite easily. And I think only because some lucky things. As you can see now, some of my light troops are advanced to the north positions to try and break him down. There we go. Oh, bloody crossbow we're running or rallying as well. 50 because it goes back down to 52. But I think here there's that couple of cavalry units here that are like nearly broken. Yep. Oh, God, they survive. And there we go. Now it's me sat there. You know, when you're at the end of a game and you're thinking, how the hell am I going to win this? How the hell? There we go. I've got a good rally. Who else rally? I think I got another rally. So here we go. We're like, let's get them. And there we go. We're like charging the javelin troops in. Here we go. And I get lucky with that mid cavalry unit on this left side. Here I get lucky with this cavalry unit. But now it's just turn around, concentrate all my forces into try and get. And this is, I think, where we turn around, try and get them cavalrymen there. You see, the battle line changed so dramatically on E. So we turn them into there. We tried to charge. All good for us there. Don't like it, Robert. It's your time to shine. Here we go, push back. And I think we charge with a belittled unit here. We block them in. Might as well charge. And I think they explode. Did they explode? Because of that, what we're at 52. We're at 52 there. I would love to see how many points are actually in just a normal cavalry unit. I mean, they're not even the cheapest cavalry unit in the game. It's the Teutonic Knights, which are even more expensive. To be honest here, because they're highly superior. God, if them cavalry had the chance to turn around on that line, I'd be dead. There we go. I'm like, yeah, get out of Dodge. Just get out of Dodge. There's no point engaging that battle. We're going to get whooped there. So that's 52. I auto break there. Can you believe that? I was livid. There we go. All in his favour. All in his favour. Even the big unit there has been disrupted. It's about to drop. And there we go. The combat don't particularly want to fight. And we survive yet again. We should have broke there on that right side. There we go. We're about to hopefully now knacker 2 of his units up in the rear. Yeah, some defensive fire there from the things. So 52% for him. I think this is where I double charge that cavalry unit, which is disrupted between the Welsh spearmen. Yet again, the spearmen holding on the right side. Don't know how. There we go. So that for that unit, it is 52. So it's 5% there for that cavalry unit. There we go. We're trying to hunt these down. If we had chance, we would have got them in the turn after. This is the cavalry unit. So that gives us... I'm interested in how many points this unit is. So only 4 points for that. I thought that might have been more. Oh, go on, Bennett. Yeah, them breaking. I'd have to see how many points the Welsh spearmen or the Low Country spearmen are worth when you break them for such an expensive. I think it's like 50 points for them. Here we go. Now he's thinking, oh, it's now. I think he's sitting there thinking, I need to go and run things out, not to die. The same thing at any end of the point, but complete craziness. And chance, a nice little tone to set the Field of Glory 2 medieval games out, really. And this is, of course, breaking point. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was a win. Oh, that was actually my first win. You can see that was actually my first win. So we'll pause this in a point here. There we go. We'll pause it and have a look at the battlefield. As you can see, he had great anti-cavalry and crossbowmen to the left, which swept down. Did very well. If they would have ended up further down here and back on the main line. Only because my main line holded and it kind of pushed into the right. He had some very good cavalries that pushed out to the right, but I got a lucky rally or two that changed that flank. But apart from that, it was, 22%. Could have went either way. His cavalry certainly made the day here. They had advantage everywhere. Whew. What a crazy game. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, to click that like, subscribe button. Remember, watch out for them knights, because they are pesky, they are strong, they will reap your life if you don't hold them there. And of course, I will see you on the next Field of Glory 2 battle, wherever it is. And bye-bye.